From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the Schmoes Know, this is Meet the Movie Press. Roundtable movie news and commentary from the industry's premier film journalists.
Is it Friday?
TGIF MTMP. Hashtag that.
Boom.
That is thank God it's Friday. This is Meet the Movie Press. Hello out there, everyone. I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com.
And I'm Jeff Sneider, film reporter for TheWrap.com.
And I'm going to go ahead and turn off my computer and the sound there.
Was that porn?
That was porn.
Has that ever happened to you? Like, because I've been at work and like flipped open my computer to start the day and realized like I probably shut it watching porn last night, and like all of a sudden
I would be lying if I said that hasn't happened to me before.
Yeah,
Not at work.
Think it's happened to every guy, I think.
I think so.
You know, sometimes you just slam that laptop shut at night and
Yep.
you just forget what might be playing.
It's Porn Friday here on Meet the Movie Press. What's your porn story? Because we are broadcasting live on the Popcorn Talk Network. We are doing it live on YouTube's / Popcorn Talk. And I'm already seeing you guys chiming in. Look at all of you. Thank you for tuning in. And rating and subscribing on iTunes is keeping the lights on this spaceship active. And we have a great show, guys. My God, a lot of news broke this week. Jeff, you dropped some.
There were some
huge
good ones. Yeah.
You were kicking ass, brother. I was.
That's
digging
what you
it.
get for behaving.
Yeah, for behaving.
Yeah,
really.
I've been on good behavior for the most part, and so
You have, and that-
sources have responded to that.
Maybe that's why it's been boring on your Twitter feed. I don't know.
So boring. I'm clearly not picking enough Twitter fights.
I
these
know.
days.
I love it when there's Twitter fights. I could just be a fly on the virtual wall. But yeah, guys, we have a great show, and joining the show is a good long time friend of mine. I met her at USC. I've known her for, good Lord, now over 20 years. And
Wow.
Can you believe it? And we're just going to get her right in here. It's Sasha Perl-raver from FX Movie Download.
Woo! That feels so old.
You are getting some canned applause. Put those cans on. And as I always say, the Price is Right studio audience outside that door is welcoming you in to Meet the Movie Press. How you doing, Sasha?
I'm good. This is exciting. Although 20 years, God, that makes me feel so old. As if the sweatshirt.
I was
didn't date
surprised too. The sweat. Look, guys, Schmoville, can you appreciate that ducktail sweatshirt?
I appreciate it.
me. I
amazing.
want everybody to give a woo.
Yeah.
That's what they need.
DuckTales. Woo. Yeah. No, Sasha, we went to USC together.
Mm-hmm.
We were theater majors together. Mm-hmm. Can you believe we ended up here now?
I just love that you're a theater major. Sometimes I forget that, but I
it's-
picture you in your little tiny tights.
Yeah, no, you should
prancing
have
around
seen. You
there.
should have seen me in 12th Night in my Cher wig and
Ooh.
my Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat during a Shakespeare festival
Oh my
thing.
God.
It was awful. I came in walking in, and everybody looked at me and just shook their heads, and I went, you know what? I'm going to own this. If I could turn back, and just people were like, no.
What
this
did you
can't do.
wait? What did you play?
Oh, I wasn't in 12th.
You're in
night.
12th
okay.
Night.
I changed my major first year because I was like, wait, a theater degree. This doesn't make sense. This was a really poorly made up plan. And I switched over to humanities theater with an emphasis in anthropology and cinema critical studies.
Well,
I got like 15. I got 15 majors, man.
Gotcha. Look at that. She's well rounded.
yeah, that's actually a smarter move there. The guys out there, and I even had one of the fans contacting me about going to USC, and the only advice I gave him, he was looking for advice, that said, do not be a theater major.
Right. It's like
Especially at USC.
it's like my $200,000 screenwriting degree from NYU that does me a lot of good out here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
actually very fancy. I'm impressed if that means anything.
$200,000 piece of paper.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, so woo! I love it. I love it when Phil chimes in. Phil, of course, back there in the booth for the Popcorn Talk Network. I love it. And Sasha, my God, so good to have you. I've been,
thanks.
watching your career, obviously, because we've been friends for years, and I've been seeing you do The Town. You were a bridesmaid in my failed marriage. Ooh, that's a story for another time. Sorry, guys.
My failed marriage.
That's,
That's
a
script
different.
for you to
That's
write
a
with
different
That's
podcast.
That's
I'll
a
tell you
different
that.
podcast. Yeah. No, the wedding wasn't failed, I suppose. It was the marriage afterwards.
The
Anyways,
wedding was one of the best weddings I've ever been to in my life.
jeez,
It's
whatever.
true. It was great.
Yeah,
so how'd you get into the business?
Yeah, we got to get
Sasha?
into that. So
The business.
The business.
'cause I remember back, like all of a sudden, I was sitting around watching NBC, just local, and
Okay.
there's Sasha doing a movie review.
Yeah.
So was that your first, or where did you start exactly?
So we go to USC, and I'm like, oh, I want to do something in the film business and TV, but I didn't really know what. And I got out of school, and instead I just did a bunch of stuff. I was a personal chef for years.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
And I was a cook, and that was how I kind of paid my way through school. And I ended up working for a bunch of big time people, and it was great. And I was making good money. And finally, I got really frustrated, and I said, I think I want to go back to school. I miss writing. I miss deadlines. I miss learning new things. And my mom said, it sounds like you don't want to go back to school. It sounds like you want to be a writer. And I took a bunch of free jobs writing film reviews because I loved film and I missed film. And one of those jobs led me to NBC.com, and I was the editor of their movie blog. And all of a sudden, I got a phone call out of the clear blue sky that went like this. Hi, my name's Jordan. You don't know me. I know you. I work at Food Network. We're starting a show in 3 weeks, and we want you to be on it.
Wow.
I remember this.
And I said, dope, let's do it. And I went off and I shot this show, which was one of the worst ideas I've ever had in my life. Don't do reality TV. It's a bad, 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 evil place.
That's right. It was reality.
It was awful. And as soon as it was done, my bosses at NBC saw it and said, oh, we didn't realize how good you were on TV. We're going to do everything you've been doing but writing. Just say it on television.
Hey,
Which was amazing.
good
That's
gig.
really cool.
And I go off and I was on NBC for 4 years as their entertainment reporter and film critic. And that was after I'd done like 5 years of blogging and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
And then I go to a party one night, very randomly. Thanks, Kara Warner, formerly of Yahoo and MTV, now of Playboy and Vulture.
Hey,
And
all
this
right.
guy stops me and he says, I watch you every Saturday. I love you. I'm going to give you a job someday. Handed me his card. He's one of the VPs at FX. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And he called me in for an audition. And 3 months later, 3 months and 10 pounds later of being in rooms where every other person in the room was 15 years younger and 20 pounds skinnier,
Sure.
I actually got my job. And now I'm on FX Movie Download.
It's because you know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Which is
Yeah.
not actually a commodity that is prized amongst women, especially in Hollywood.
I know. That's. I mean,
It isn't, but I feel it's changing every day. I mean, because, Sasha's name came up when Mary Jetikin was here. Mary is one of my favorite people, and then there's Tiffany Smith, Alicia Malone. These are all my dear friends that are just doing it and doing it right out there. Because I know what they're talking about, and Sasha, I can put you in that category.
Thank you.
Because we were going back and forth on email, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just like hanging out in bed, but watching TV on the weekends, and there's Sasha just talking about Iron Man or Iron Man 2 or what have
Yeah.
you. So it's really cool to see.
and
Thank
speaking of Iron Man, I did kind of want to get your thoughts on a certain movie
Yes.
that I heard you may have seen.
Oh, sigh. Sasha saw Avengers last night.
Did, which was so exciting. Okay, so the truth be told, Disney kind of has an embargo, but
Yeah.
Disney already hates me. It started with Cars 2.
Well-
it got no better when I called Lincoln C-SPAN the movie.
I don't want you to break embargo here on the show, but can you just
We're just going to talk about my feelings because this is like a therapy
right?
session.
Yeah, don't review it. Don't say no spoilers or
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, because we've already had the Twitter reactions from all the critics out there, so
yeah,
you can
exactly.
kind of.
I've seen stuff.
I've seen stuff too. So out there on YouTube, no worries, no spoilers
No
here.
spoilers. I don't
Yeah.
believe in spoilers anyway.
Just a reaction.
Yeah. Well, my first reaction was I watched the movie with Mark Ruffalo sitting behind me. Which
Holy
really,
crap.
when Dr. Bruce Banner is sitting behind you, it informs your viewing experience in a different way.
Sure.
Yeah, I bet.
I think they had a private screening for the actors, and I think he missed it.
Oh,
so he
that's
came and he
hilarious.
watched it with the riffraff, which was great. And
The riffraff.
everybody was so excited in the theater.
Yeah.
The film is so good.
Okay.
It's Joss Whedon. I was not a fan of Angel or Buffy, not because I didn't like them, but just because I never got into them. I got
Yeah,
into
me
him
neither.
around Firefly.
Yeah. Me too. Me
He's
too.
so smart and funny and understands how to bring depth and gravitas and a little bit of darkness, but also give you everything you want to see from these characters that you're really loving and spinning out a new world. It was so incredibly pleasurable to watch it. I mean, yeah, it was just.
I am so jealous. I know we tweeted it last night.
Don't be jealous. 'Cause
No.
you
I
get
know
to
I'm gonna
see
see.
it
I'm
soon.
gonna get to see it soon. And I'm just so happy to hear that. I'm
Yeah.
actually very, very, very excited to see the reactions. Everybody is
I'm
pretty
just
much
curious to see how all these sort of pieces of the puzzle that we've watched assemble, if you will, come together.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. And you know, I kind of made a joke on Twitter yesterday. I'm like, yeah, Avengers Age of Ultron, we get it. You're rad. You're coming out in a couple weeks. You're going to get my money. Stop the marketing blitz. Because I'm just everywhere I turn, and especially with Schmoes Know, you know, we're posting these featurettes, these trailers, these TV spots, these posters, these everything. And I'm like, I just want it to stop. I want it to cool your jets and give me 2 weeks to forget about everything. Give me a Star Wars trailer or something so I can take my mind off it.
But here's what'll happen. You're going to get sort of this sense of oversaturation. And then when you sit down, that was my feeling too. I felt like I'd seen so much. And then it was better than anything that I had anticipated.
Yeah, I you know, that's how it was with the Avengers, the original. There was the same marketing blitz, and I saw everything. And then when I sat down, it was just awesome. So I'm excited for it. Jealous that you saw it, but I know I will see it in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So very cool. Very cool that you were in front of Mark Ruffalo. Did you tell him I say hi?
I should have. You know what was great about that was he laughs at his own jokes harder than he laughed at anybody else's jokes in the movie.
It's like I crushed that line, bro.
He's like, God, I'm good.
Yeah,
He is good.
Yeah.
He deserves to laugh at his own jokes. The best part of the thing too is they gave Hawkeye so much, which I was really
Good,
surprised
because
by.
he didn't have enough to do in the first film.
I think that's directly related to the fact that he didn't have much to do in the first film.
Yeah.
I think Whedon was like, yeah, here you go, bud. Let's get you some more action.
And again, without giving anything away, the 2 new additions were good.
Their accents were not. Their accents are bad.
Yeah.
But
I can see
I'm
that.
not a fan of Aaron Taylor Johnson, really. It's not that I don't like him. I just have never thought
You
whatever.
haven't sparked to him yet?
No.
What did you think of him in Godzilla?
That was where I started coming around to him a little bit more.
Because I kind of liked him in it. I liked Godzilla, but a lot of people were like, no, he sucks in it, and Godzilla was boring and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
but
I think
I just don't
everybody
share that.
Wanted me to love him, and I liked him from Kick-Ass, and I liked him from a few things, but I didn't ever think like this guy is a star. And now when I see him more and more, I'm liking him more and more. The accents are bad. They themselves are fantastic. And James Spader, oh my God. You guys are going to open up your laptops and it's going to be porn. I'm going to open up my laptop and it's going to be James Spader talking to me, and it's going to do all
I feel
the
like
same stuff.
half the porn I'm watching has James Spader in it.
You need to send me links. I'm into it.
I'm just saying, the guy's got a pretty kinky filmography.
He does, man. I love
Not
Spader,
mad
man.
at it. Not mad at it.
He's awesome. So that's great to hear. I'm sure you guys, if you're on YouTube right now, are you going to see Avengers? No, don't answer that. You're all going to see Avengers.
Yes,
the
yes,
world
yes.
is going to see Avengers. It's already tracking 200 million
200
plus.
million, yeah, wow.
I mean, do you guys think, let's go into the little box office prediction. You think it's going to beat the opening of the original?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
me too. Me
Yeah.
too. I had lunch with a guy at Disney, the publicist department at Disney, and he was like, we are going to beat this. And we got into a conversation about Avengers versus Star Wars, bigger box office.
Right.
And because you look at the Avengers, the original, and it's tracking now, and especially the sequels always do better. So let's start. You guys think it's going to do more box office than Star Wars at the end of the day?
I
just love these questions.
It's a great question. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I think Star Wars is going to be bigger.
I do too.
Well, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be better.
This is Avengers, and people know what they're getting into after that first film, whereas I think people maybe just a little bit more wary of Star Wars, or like, then again, who knows? I think Star Wars is going to be the biggest movie ever in the history of time.
Yeah, I could buy that. I think it's ready. I think it's ready to come back, and if JJ hits it out of the park, like I believe he will, we're going to have a major box office juggernaut. So I can't wait for that. By the way, Chris Evans on YouTube says Sasha is a Riot A+ guest.
Oh, that's nice.
There you go.
Evans?
Chris Evans.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Chris Evans is a fan.
Wow.
Well, we love Chris Evans.
Captain America himself. Are you? No, it's not. But thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
And you guys are chiming in right now. 200 mil, 250. Yeah, I think somewhere in between that. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't think it'll go 250. But yeah. Oh well, there you go. Riley and I think alike. Yep, Dylan Esposito, my boy. We do think alike. So, guys, let's get into some news because it was a big week. Jeff, where do you want to start? Because you had a hell of a week.
Geez, where should we start? You know what? I'm going to do the unlikely thing. I know everyone wants to talk about certain comic book properties.
Sure.
And we're going to. Mm-hmm. But instead, we're going to start somewhere else with the She's All That remake.
Yes!
Oh, my God.
Yes!
Curveball.
Yes!
Guys, I love it. What do you guys think? She's All That getting a remake.
Dude, now, we have to preface this story by saying that Miramax, was very adamant that there's not a deal in place. And they denied our reporting, but I had it from a couple of good sources, multiple sources, and so we stood by the story. It's this guy Kenny Leon is attached to direct.
Okay,
he did like the Steel Magnolias remake with Queen Latifah.
Oh, that one. I was like, they remade.
At least he has experience dealing with a large ensemble cast.
Sure.
That wasn't a dig at Queen Latifah.
Yeah,
that was not.
No, we love Queen Latifah here on Meet the Movie Press,
and I think Spike Lee's wife is going to produce it.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So you're telling us it's going to skew toward diversity?
I think it will. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But I don't know. She's All That. I really liked the original film, which I know is like a riff on Pygmalion and My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it's not like a sacred classic.
No.
It's not. But have you actually rewatched it recently? There are some moments in that movie that are truly hilarious. And I think that if you see them now, having stood the test of time, you'll have a new appreciation for. I don't think that it's not sacrosanct. There's not something you need to hold on to. But do you really need to remake it? Of all the movies that you could do again, the bad ones or the good ones?
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, so Miramax exists right now mainly as a library.
Yeah.
And so they're looking to exploit library titles, whether it's we're developing a Shakespeare in Love sequel,
right,
or whatever the hell is going on over there.
God.
I would look down that list and be like, She's All That is something that we could still take advantage of. The title itself is a little outdated. I don't know that anyone's goes around that girl Sasha, she's all that.
Maybe after this show they will.
But
we'll find out.
I think the general gist of that story, they don't make enough teen movies these days, which is something I talked about in my Ethan Embry interview.
That's right.
That we ran this week. That I was very proud and
love him.
Grateful to my editors for letting me run it at 5,000 words.
Nice.
Because I just thought it was a really interesting conversation I had with that guy. But anyways, what do you guys think of the She's All That remake?
Sasha?
Well, now that you just brought it up, I'm like, why didn't they do Can't Hardly Wait? That's a great movie that I would love to see a new spin on.
Sure, but it's I wonder if they would remake that, or they're going to remake The Big Chill eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to happen.
I just
And
got
every
so
generation
nauseous.
has their own Big Chill, and I don't know that that's Can't Hardly Wait.
So
but
wait, this is the tweet. Did you just say that She's All That is this generation's The Big Chill?
I think Can't Hardly Wait would be, but She's All That. I don't know where we got sidetracked.
I think when I first heard it, I remember reading your tweet and I was like, there will only be one. I think, again, it's not something where it's sacred ground. So sure, have at it. What I'm interested to see is, can you make it more original? Can you make it something where, who would you even put in it? I don't know that there's any actors right now that I would be desperate to run out and see, because there isn't that Brat Pack that there used to be.
I'd like to see Ansel Elgort or something as Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know. Dylan O'Brien.
That's cool, yeah.
Dylan O'Brien.
That's good.
Ansel Elgort as the dick guy, maybe as Paul Walker.
I mean, this
R.I.P.
She's All That missed my sweet spot. I was
Really?
too old for it. I think at the time. I didn't.
You don't have a Freddie Prinze Jr. sweet spot?
No, I don't. I don't. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's how much it just went over the head.
It's got a great cast.
I was watching Jurassic Park.
Little Kim is in that movie, and I will be so happy if she makes it into the remake.
Oh boy!
All right, well, we'll switch gears because I know this audience is like, "What the? You guys were talking about She's All That."
Rewatched it.
We'll get to the comic book stuff now.
JP Sketch 03 says I rewatched it drunk the other week. It's cheesy '90s hilarity. There you go. That's how you do it.
Sure, but you could update it now with modern day.
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm sure it's fine.
And Freddie Prinze Jr. will have
I'd like to see the gender swap though with two girls who make a bet about a guy.
That'd be good.
Okay.
I think that's.
I would be interested in that.
I just want the falafel place to stay there, because that was Do you want to supersize your balls? This is one of the best lines from the
You're
movie.
welcome back any time on this show.
I know, right?
Okay, let's switch gears and let's go to Marvel.
Okay, Marvel.
So we'll start with Infinity War, I suppose, right?
Yeah, the Winter
Confirmed
Soldier.
to direct. Russos are confirmed to direct this
Russo's
week.
confirmed to direct, which is a great call.
Officially
I love
official.
It. I love it.
And Marcus and McFeely are going to be writing it, according to Devin Faraci.
Yes, and they are the go-to guys for Marvel right now. They wrote Thor: The Dark World, First Avenger, Winter Soldier. They have a good resume. I'm all for it.
It's good consistency.
I need the consistency.
Keeps the tone in line.
Yeah, and I wish Marvel would be more consistent with their composers, actually, because that's my favorite portion of movies sometimes are the scores. And so Silvestri's Avengers score, I hear makes an appearance in the new one, but they keep changing composers, so it's nice to see that they have this stable of awesomeness that they keep going to. The writers, the Russos are just killing it now. They're doing Civil War now, and then they're doing Infinity. Wow, I mean, this is great. Are you surprised? Are you guys surprised at all?
The only thing I'm surprised about is that you just brought up the composer, and it suddenly made me feel like such a terrible film person, because I was thinking, I don't know who's composed any of those scores.
Well, see, I knew Silvestri, and Patrick Doyle did Thor, which is one of the greatest superhero scores in my opinion. And then Silvestri's Captain America and Avengers is up there as well. And then they just started changing it up, and I'm not getting those themes that I love that are consistently emotionally through lines of the movies.
Right. The way that Superman's theme is, or even the Batman music from Hans Zimmer.
Perfect examples. Yeah. When you get there was a tiny blip of the Silvestri score in Captain America Winter Soldier, and that was it. And I was like, come on. That consistency is so important for me as a movie lover, as a composer fan. So my point is, I'm loving this. I'm loving that these crews are sticking around. Now Whedon's moving on probably, and he'll probably still be EP on all these movies.
And I bet he'll probably do touch-ups and he'll throw in jokes and whatever.
Didn't he come in for Dark World? Didn't he come in? I heard he came in at Thor and kind of did
if I remember correctly.
Did a rewrite or something, or a scene, whatever it may be.
It'll be interesting to see the kind of movies that he makes after he's done with the MCU.
Yeah. Do you think maybe, I don't know, he's probably got something original going in his head. And I'm sure now he's just like, I want to do, it's a story about a flying garbage truck in space. They go, here's money.
Yeah.
I think he can do whatever.
Especially if it clears 220 or 225.
Oh, yeah.
Which it will.
I'd like to see him remake his own movie with Buffy.
That'd be cool. Isn't there something out there like that? That they're remaking Buffy?
They are.
They are.
But not with him.
Not with him. Okay.
As far as I know.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah. So there's, any other Marvel news out there? I was looking, it's been dominated lately with, is this a good segue? Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
We were talking a bit about that on the side, guys, and the first thing that Jeff said that I totally agree with, David Ayer is just killing it on social media.
Yes, I've been very impressed with the campaign that David Ayer has been running.
Yeah.
I think it was last night that he tweeted, or I don't know what the hell it was, Twitter, Instagram.
Insta-tweeted.
He put that photo out of Jared Leto with the camera, which is the Killing Joke cover.
I love
Such a great photo.
It was a great,
it was a great,
joke
and
for the fans.
I made the joke. I think it's great to do the nod to the Killing Joke and the Joker, but he's not in full makeup yet. He's just getting the green hair, and it's fine.
Off this, you said that you were a little frustrated with the green hair.
Well, I'm not frustrated. I'm just not like wow. I was just like, okay, there he is, green hair, great. The costume is progressing every day. Wonderful. We know this.
He just looks creepy. He looks almost like Ralph Fiennes is in Red Dragon.
Yeah, right. Oh man, you know what I'd love? I would love to see his makeup from Fight Club when he got beaten the hell out of by Edward Norton. Right. I'd like to see that makeup make a return, maybe after Batman kicks the shit out of him or something. I don't know. That's a total side note that has no bearing on this conversation. But I wasn't. I mean, I'm like, great. I saw the photo come out. One of my writers covered it, and I was like, okay, let's put it up. It was during last night's main show, and people are excited.
Yeah, so according to my Yimbe, Ike Barinholtz is playing Hugo Strange. Is that correct?
That's what he's saying, and I saw even Faraci, our good friend Devin Faraci from Badass Digest. He tweeted out, he's like, "Wait, Hugo Strange now?" I think it was Devin. Apologies if I'm messing this up. He's like, how many people are going to be in it? And I'm gonna go there to start the conversation. There seems to be every single villain in the DC universe is coming into Suicide Squad. So it worries me. Are we going to have, like, is it going to be a muddled mess because we have too many characters to focus on, or are we going to? Can David Ayer do what Joss Whedon did with maybe Avengers? At least your thoughts, like juggling all these characters.
What do you think, Sasha? Where do you stand on it?
Well, I'm a huge fan of David Ayer, and I love how gritty and visceral all of his films are. I think that he's proven that he can take a really large ensemble and still make sure that you follow all of the important pieces. I mean,
I think you did that with Fury. Yeah, I agree. Which
I was thinking about this as I was driving over. My dad called Fury the greatest war movie ever made. And my father is a Harvard-educated man who knows a lot of war movies. I was like, really? Not Apocalypse Now, not Das Boot, not even like Inglourious Bastards. Yeah. But I don't know that it's the best war movie ever made, but I think that he proved that he can take a huge ensemble, he can make you care about every individual piece, and he can give you tons of nonstop action that feels very real. And that makes me feel incredibly sound that Suicide Squad, which I think is going to be awesome anyway.
Yeah, I do too.
Even cooler, but I think he understands that you can't necessarily, I think there might be a little bit of a glut, there might be a little bit of too much for one film, but we don't know how big of a part some of those people are playing, and you have smaller actors in some of the roles.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to get all of the meat you want from the Letos, and then you'll also get some interesting side plot that can spin out into a bigger world with some of the people that we didn't realize were lurking in the background, like Adam Beach and Jim Perrick.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you're right, and I think they're essentially, because Suicide Squad is one of the first in the DC expanded universe that we're getting after Batman v Superman. So I feel like their big plan is, here are the villains. Now we're going to populate them in different movies over time.
They're setting
it up in an interesting way that is different than Marvel a bit, because Marvel was very established before Guardians of the Galaxy, which I know a lot of comparisons of Guardians and Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is a whole other beast, in my opinion, because it's the villains. And this is going to be very interesting. So I can't say I'm not excited. I am.
I'm pumped for it. And there's something else that we can now be excited for over at Warner Brothers in the DCU, if you will. Yeah. That would be The Flash.
Yes. Where was that? That was here.
We did mention it.
We mentioned it here
on last week's show or whatever.
Yes.
And it seems that Lord and Miller are now confirmed to write a treatment for the Flash. They've had a lot of interest in the character. Since Warner Brothers announced the project, really.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller is still attached to star. Lord and Miller are not, confirmed to direct yet, but typically you don't write a treatment for a movie that you're not interested in directing.
Right. Yeah, I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion that they are going to direct it. It'd be, unless they're just going to do a writing thing and then jump over to Ghostbusters. What do you think? Do you think that's even a possibility?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I want to see the first Ghostbusters movie before I can say how successful that universe is going to be, essentially.
Right.
Are you excited about it?
About Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
For which yes, for which no?
The universe has me skeptical.
Yeah.
I am excited for Paul Feig's Ghostbusters.
Me too.
I think that he got a great enough cast to justify the gender swap.
Yeah.
Because Ghostbusters is one of my favorite franchises, and I was a little disappointed, I think. Just because I was, I thought they could have made a great Ghostbusters movie with Seth Rogen and whoever it may have been.
Right.
But he did a great job populating that cast. I'm really excited about it. I just don't know about the other films that are going to come after it and what the tone of those films are going to be.
Yeah, it just seems...
A lot of questions.
Yeah, it just seems like, they're doing the bandwagon shared universe thing, which is, if the story dictates it, I'm all for it. I mean, Marvel and DC, obviously, because they're all connected through the comics and whatnot, but this is like, are we going to get a Jurassic World shared universe next?
Yeah, and I just don't know the timing-wise, because, Sony is obviously focused on Spider-Man. Right. I know that they want to get Barbie off the ground. It's just a lot of things in motion over there at Sony, and I don't know how quickly the Ghostbusters universe is going to happen. So are they going to be able to do The Flash and a Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, what do you think of those two doing Flash?
Anything that they touch is going to be gold.
Yeah.
I think that they have so consistently proven that they have clear vision, they understand the world, they get comedy, they make you really care about character, and I would read the treatment and be fine with that being the full movie. I think it's going to be fantastic. I do think they'll probably write the script. I do think they probably will direct.
Yeah.
And that makes me excited about the project in general. But even if they just write the script and then pass it off, I think it would still be awesome.
Here's the other question. Are these guys going to just do these big franchise titles and that kind of stuff? Like, because I could see them going and making a movie like Spectacular Now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's because I see that affection for characters, and I see sort of what they've done with Last Man on Earth, and I could just see them doing something smaller and a little bit more intimate. Or they could just go the other route and just take these huge assignments.
That's an interesting thing, because it seems
they have
like
the talent to do both.
It seems like some of these great filmmakers, they start in the indie world, or they have something break through that's a very wholly original project, and then the Hollywood machine eats them up, and they just do franchise after franchise after franchise, and then they're off in the distance.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. Yeah, you should get really great people.
Yeah, we need Lord and Miller on some of these franchises. Otherwise, they'll just, end up in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
But, I think that these guys are certainly entitled to mix and match and try different things.
Well,
They've
look
earned
at,
it.
Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon did Much Ado About Nothing, which was something he shot at his house in black and white.
I just think more franchise directors have that project or whatever, whether it's Michael Bay and Pain and Gain, or these guys, they're not always thinking huge,
yeah.
right?
I could see them doing a lot of TV, because TV has become the new indie film.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that once you hit a certain echelon, especially as a director or a writer in Hollywood, there's no incentive to take a step down. Why would you want to go? I mean, even like JJ, who I love, and I'm really hoping Star Wars delivers, because I feel like I still have to defend my love of Lost, and I just want to be able to shut people up.
I will defend it with you. I love Lost.
The best.
Did you watch Lost?
Yeah, I
even loved the finale. I cried.
too.
I was like, this is awesome. I don't know what everybody was bitching about.
I mentioned it in my greatest TV shows tweet last night.
There you go.
It's definitely
it's up there in mine.
So fantastic, and I feel like I still have to tell people, no, you have to trust this man. He's a genius. But I think that you look at somebody like JJ, and the smallest movie he's really done recently is probably Super 8.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they're ever going to do anything that's that spectacular now-y, but I definitely could see them crossing over and doing something more in television that is their own entirely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move along to. There's a few things that I wanted to get to. Ryan Gosling is going to be the star of Guillermo del Toro's The Haunted Mansion.
Now, is anybody else just loving this? Because I am. I love this so much, and I've always been a fan of Gosling. My favorite is he's in Crazy Stupid Love. He is my absolute favorite in that movie.
Ryan Gosling's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
And I've been a fan of him since Half Nelson, which he got nominated for.
Yes.
He was actually my first junket interview was the United States of Leland.
I love that movie and was talking about it last night with Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, I love that movie.
Incredible.
That movie is awesome.
That's a weird coincidence. That was my first junket ever.
Nice.
I think he's wildly talented. I saw his movie this week. I did not care for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
But Go ahead.
I was going to say, it looks like he took everything he learned from working with Terrence Malick and Nicholas Winding Refn and made just a bastardization of all of that. But I love him, but it's terrible.
Yeah, I hear it's banana boat crazy. I
suppose those are fair comparisons in a sense. To me, it is defiantly Ryan Gosling, and that's what I admire about it. And because it's unapologetically like this is what sort of I'm about as an artist.
Yeah,
true. But I think sometimes that's why you need a director as an actor, because you can be your own worst enemy if you don't have somebody to guide you. And I think he's a phenomenal talent, but sometimes you have to be caged in a little bit. Not everybody can just be let loose. Like George Clooney sometimes can turn out A Good Night and Good Luck, but sometimes he's going to turn out The Monuments Men.
Or Leatherheads.
You need guidance. Sometimes you need guidance.
I do think, the script was a problem for me for Lost River, but the movie looks gorgeous. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But anyways, so this is Haunted Mansion.
This is Haunted Mansion. We'll bring it down a notch because it's Disney.
The sensibility, though, is perfect for Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I agree. And then to have is Del Toro directing, or is he just producing right now, or is it like, because he's directing everything, I think, now.
It's a good question.
He's like,
from what I'm told, and I suppose it was left a little vague in my story. From what I understand, he is going to end up directing, especially now that he has a star like Ryan Gosling.
I don't see why not. And by the way, awesome scoop, awesome exclusive. It was a great, like, everybody just started talking like, this is great. And then I started reading some reactions. They're like, they saw Gosling and Del Toro at Disneyland riding rides.
Right.
Which I thought was awesome. It just made me smile thinking those guys are palling around Disneyland.
And the Haunted Mansion was one of those rides.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Haunted Mansion, it's not... I guess Pirates of the Caribbean has a certain mythology about it. Haunted Mansion, there is a rich world there, and I know that Guillermo has a very deep affection for it, and like, you know, there are parts of his home that are sort of modeled after the ride. So I think it could be really cool.
I think so too. I think if he goes a little dark, but like, you know,
it's still going to be family friendly. It's still a Disney movie.
It's going to be a Disney movie,
but it's going to be better than that Eddie Murphy movie.
I was just going to say, we are not getting an Eddie Murphy movie with this thing.
I don't think it's going to be goofy.
No, I think it's going to have some bite to it. I really do, and hit that balance, because Del Toro can hit that balance, and I love it. And Gosling's along for the ride. I think it's great. I'm so excited. That good. How did you, since this is Meet the Movie Press, how did you get wind of this? I mean, I know you have your sources. You don't have to say anything like that.
But I actually cannot discuss that.
Wow.
I will go into almost anything else that you want to get into, but I'm going to leave that one.
Fair enough. Jesus, I don't care.
Well, if you're keeping sources safe, I will reveal some of mine.
Oh, okay.
Hey, all right.
So I used to be Ryan Gosling's chef.
What?
Hey.
Yeah, he said that eating my food was like watching a baby unicorn be born. And you can thank me for some of that body yaddy yaddy that he had going on in Crazy Stupid Love, because I was cooking for him around the time of like Drive, Ides.
Oh my God!
Crazy Stupid Love.
You were partially responsible for those
You're
abs.
welcome.
His
definition.
His happy belly, happy belly, happy performance.
Yeah.
Maybe you should cook for me. Jeez.
Yeah,
His favorite thing, I made these peanut butter chocolate chip cookies with blackberry jam at the center, and he used to eat those. And I would bring them to him at junkets whenever we would do an interview for the first like little while. And then I realized he wasn't talking during our interview. He was just chewing and being like, I love you. And I'm like, I can't use this. I appreciate it, but I can't use this.
So how did you build your character?
I love you.
That sounds awesome. Blackberry jam in the middle.
They were good.
You gotta find a girl to bake me those.
That is pretty good.
I'll bring them over. We'll have them for breakfast.
If there's anyone single in Schmoville, call me.
That's amazing.
What else happened in comic book land? Dominic Cooper.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
We can pretty much confirm him for Preacher.
Yeah, and I know that we're talking, I know this is Meet the Movie Press, but this is a movie event television series, in my opinion.
Yeah, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are producing it. It's going to be on AMC.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be so good.
With the girl from True Blood, who was awesome.
Right.
Oh, that was Lucy Griffiths or someone from yesterday? Yeah.
Thank you.
So Nelly Andriva at Deadline slipped a little mention of Dominic. And Dominic, his name had been floated out there already by blogs and stuff.
Yeah.
We were all the trades were kind of holding, and Nelly threw in a little like, Dominic Cooper's still in negotiations, and at that point, I'm like, it's a free for all. Yeah,
yeah.
Cat's out of the bag.
Let's do this.
This guy's closing. I mean, it's closed. It's a done deal, basically.
And so let's talk about the fact that it's a done deal. Let's talk about, is he perfect for the role? Yes, in my opinion.
I've always liked Dominic Cooper, and I don't think that he actually has anything that like defines him yet. Like,
no, I think this could.
And we're going to talk about something else of his in a second.
Oh yeah.
Marvel spinoff?
No. Patience.
Oh.
But I do think it's a good call, because I think he's right for TV. Honestly.
I think so too.
Oh, that was a slight burn.
That was
a baby burn.
You know, he was amazing in the Devil's Double. Did you see that movie where he was playing dual roles?
Yeah,
amazing performance.
I thought he was great.
But like the other movies that I've seen him in, Dracula Untold, and the movie that we're going to talk about next, were not very good. And he just doesn't have. He just can't play that tough guy because he's kind of a little dude.
Yeah. Oh, God, I know what you're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Oh, come
I'm
on.
going to lay down.
Let's talk about it.
Good boy.
We're talking about Need for Speed. Dude, the fact, like, that, trust me, that was the most shocking press release to hit my inbox this week. They're like,
I think it shocked
makes
everyone.
sense.
Did it make money?
Listen,
I thought it bombed.
It didn't necessarily bomb.
It made tons of money overseas.
Right.
Tons.
It made $65 million in China alone, and that kind of shit sells over there.
Yeah, and that's what the budget must have been. What? 30? No.
It was 65, I think.
The budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was probably more.
So it makes it
let's call
in
it 80.
one territory. So of course they're going to make a sequel. Absolutely, I get it. Why though?
Here's why. Because Fast and the Furious came out and made so much.
Exactly.
And they were like, oh,
there's
car
an appetite
movies.
for that.
And we made 65 off of China, and we're only making movies for China now because why wouldn't we make them for anywhere else?
It's true.
Right.
Oh God,
it's all true.
It's so painful. That movie, I think, was one of the worst of last year.
It wasn't good.
2 years ago?
Aaron, I mean, also none of the talent is so it's just really a sequel in name only because I doubt Aaron Paul is coming back for that.
And do you think he's just on to better things, or he's like, that
There's
was a
no
pile
way.
of crap?
I think
anything
he's looking
worse.
in the rearview mirror the same way someone named Joel Kinnaman is probably moving on from RoboCop, and he's like, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. No RoboCop questions, please.
Which was fine. I didn't hate RoboCop. I thought it was okay. But
it's all right.
I think it's one he'd like to have back.
Joel Kinnaman's one of those people who I look at, and maybe I'll be proven wrong with Suicide Squad, but I look at that guy and I'm like, TV. Better TV.
See, I loved him so much on The Killing. I'm willing to give him a shot.
Yeah, I am too.
I liked Run All
RoboCop
Night
wasn't
too.
that?
I liked Run All. Well, Robo, he's in a suit and like I don't know. It wasn't. Joel Kinnaman could do something cool.
Yeah,
I'm confident of that.
TBD. But I'm excited to see him in Suicide Squad because I'm excited about everybody in that movie.
Okay. So yeah, Need for Speed
2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Need for Speed 2.
The other whoa, and how much time do we have left? We got like 10 minutes left.
We got like 10 minutes.
The other whoa this week was, you see the Hollywood Reporter story about Hayden Christensen starring in Marco Polo?
Yeah.
And I think it was like, Hayden Christensen is still acting. He's still a movie star. It was like,
Brent at Variety tweeted that, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, the poor guy. Hayden Christensen. Look, have you seen Kevin Kline movie?
Glass House.
Life is a
House. I love that
Life
movie.
Is a glass house.
Life is a shattered glass house.
What a title!
He was
for
in
a
Shattered
movie.
Life is a He was in.
I have not seen that, and he was nominated for a Golden Globe, even though the Hollywood Reporter wanted to say that he won.
Yeah. Right, but that was a good movie. See, I dig Hayden Christensen, so I'm glad he's. Yeah.
You go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
I think he's fantastic. I think he's given a bad rap because he was in a bad movie with a bad script and bad effects. Okay? You're acting against, and I'm talking about Star Wars, folks.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. He's acting with tennis balls and a green screen. Okay?
Oh.
Give the guy some credit. He pulled it together. He did better than anybody could probably do in that situation. Give this guy a chance. However, what the hell is Marco Polo? What is it? It's a fantasy movie now?
So Marco Polo is also like I believe it's like a Chinese co-production.
It is.
There you go.
With Paramount. I would be very surprised if Paramount was putting a dime into this thing. Rob Cohen is going to direct. So, the original Fast and Furious guy, I mean, he's got the XXX movies on his resume. So he's made money for studios. He may not be like the hottest commodity out there, but he has a good track record, so to speak.
Yeah, I find it funny too. Sorry, an aside that it's like in the headline, it's like Hayden Christensen to do Marco Polo for original Fast and Furious director.
Oh, yeah.
That was me.
Was that you?
That was my headline.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's.
And yes, you're right. I did want to get Fast and Furious in there.
That's my point.
Well played. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
played.
He switched. Yes.
I thought that was Hollywood Reporter, but okay. I'll give you shit for that. Then.
That's fine.
That's a funny
I can take
title.
the shit. I can take.
That's a funny title because
That's called search engine optimization.
Boom.
well, I would have done the same thing.
To me, that's the only other
that is
interesting
search
thing.
engine
Oh yeah,
optimization.
because Hayden Christensen, who I just almost called Hayden Panettiere, is going to ever get you to click on an article.
But like Marco Polo, like when you think of Marco Polo, are you thinking of like a guy who looks
Netflix
like
series.
Hayden Christensen?
No.
I just.
But again,
it was a funny one. I have nothing against him because I haven't even seen Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones.
How did you manage that?
I'm not a big Star Wars.
Did you
guy.
see Revenge of the Sith?
I did, and I liked it.
He was that. He was in it.
Sure. No, I did see that, but
okay.
I know he gets a lot of shit for Phantom Menace and whatever.
Well, there was actually an article, I think in Hollywood Reporter, they were talking about sort of the curse of Star Wars and how it's such a huge movie that it can tank a career. And Natalie Portman was saying a lot of people didn't want to work with her after she did it because it was so big and people weren't sure if she could act because bad script and not great
Sure.
special effects and
Sure.
all that other stuff. I don't know that Hayden Christensen fell victim to that. I think Hayden Christensen is a really pretty person who maybe doesn't have what you need. I think he sort of falls in the Army Hammer school. Like, he's good enough.
Pretty but stiff. What are we talking about here? Why are we mincing words?
Yeah.
He was great in Shattered Glass. Fantastic performance. I love Shattered Glass.
He produced that too.
I mean, everything else. I mean, give me a break. Come on.
He's great. So yeah, well, you know,
Okay,
hey, it's happening.
Marco Polo or Need for Speed 2.
I am looking forward to American Heist, the movie where him and Adrian Brody are brothers, and it's like a little B-movie crime thriller.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my cup of tea. Like, even Takers, I guess Takers wasn't bad.
Takers wasn't bad.
But I don't know. There's been some bad Hayden Christensen stuff.
Again, Paul Walker.
Yeah.
There we go.
It all comes back to Paul Walker.
That's right, guys. Well, I wanna do something because I'm getting the fans asking for this. Hopeful news break.
Yay!
We haven't done a hopeful news break. Let's do it.
Yay!
That's right. You listen to that music, guys? Every Wednesday and or Thursday, you can drop in your hopeful news break on Meet the Movie Press on the Popcorn Talk Network Facebook page. You guys, you read the news every day. You're following us here on the Popcorn Talk Network. You know what's breaking. You can kind of put some pieces together. So we ask you, what do you want to see? What do you hope to see? And so you guys, man, look at all these comments. This is tough to go through, but I'm going to do it. So Ben Campbell, I've been a little behind in episodes, but I just caught up. 2 weeks ago, Jeff made a little side comment about hoping the Police Academy reboot gets off the ground. My question is, what is he talking about? Is it happening? I would love to see a Police Academy reboot.
I haven't heard anything new about the Police Academy reboot. I will put it that way. I do think that it will happen eventually.
I think it's
the perfect kind of title to bring back from the 80s or early 90s, whenever the hell it was. And Key and Peele are the right guys to do it. I don't know what's taking so long, actually, but
yeah, and this is how long I've known about the reboot, or at least that they were talking about it in development. 2004 was when I was working on the Masters of the Universe treatment at Warner Brothers, and that development guy said, they're doing Police Academy. Do you want to write up a pitch? And then it just kind of fell away into the ether. But they've been talking about it for so long. So I think it's any day now we're going to get something.
Do you think the reason it hasn't sort of launched is because Key and Peele are known in a small strata, but maybe they're not like a Seth Rogen-y level of we can get this off the ground immediately?
Nope. I think that I think that studios definitely want to be in business with Key and Peele.
Yeah.
I think Key and Peele are what people sort of hoped Dave Chappelle would be.
Oh, I love Dave Chappelle.
I agree.
I think that these guys are huge stars, and I think that the reason that it hasn't gotten off the ground is they're just too busy.
Yeah, and Ben even says about the reboot, it sounds like Rogan Franco kind of crew, which I agree with that, but I think they're way past that now.
No, it's going to be their crew, like the Key and Peele crew.
Yeah.
And I know that they're starting to blend because they're working with Apatow and everything, and well, there may very well be some regulars. I'd love to see someone like Chris Mintz-Plasse in Police Academy.
I was just thinking Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer in Police Academy. Mm-hmm. It's got to be some sassy lady.
It could be the entire friggin' Comedy Central lineup. You could have Daniel Tosh as the lead.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I want to do another one here because Dalton Johnson, you've been dropping in some great ones. And this is just interesting. I'm wondering if Jeff, you hear anything. He wants to know when Nolan will announce his next project. I mean, that's a tough one to crack because you never know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's usually, aside from the Batman trilogy, he does originals.
I don't know, if he's taking a little time, not to lick his wounds by any means, because I thought Interstellar was really good and it made a ton of money. But
I finally saw it.
There was a backlash.
And I didn't understand it.
I hated it.
You hated it. See, I liked it. I
wonder if he was
so mad at
unprepared
him.
for that backlash, and he's like taking a little extra time to like reassess.
Well, I think
maybe do something outside of sci-fi, or he's the kind of guy who's like, I want to put this behind me as soon as I can and get back out there.
Yeah.
Haven't heard anything.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
Well, it hasn't been that long. I mean, that just came out, and his movies tend to have to, percolate for a little while before we see anything.
I'm sure he's writing. I'm sure he's somewhere writing. I'm sure he's got a notebook with him. Who knows?
That may be the fear, though. Maybe someone else should be writing.
Do you ever think Nolan will do a Bond movie? Because that's been a rumor that just kind of keeps coming around.
Yeah, I think he'd probably be interested, but I think it'll be, after Daniel Craig leaves. So it won't be the next. He has one more after this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be after that, and he'll, cast who he wants.
Yeah.
We've talked about that, I think.
Well, I want to end it here because I think it's an interesting conversation as well.
I had to end it on one other thing, but go.
Oh, yeah.
You go.
Okay, so how about if Jurassic World does well, will it get a sequel? Yes.
Yes.
What are these questions? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
But I'm using this, Dalton, thank you for that, and thank you everyone for the hopeful news break. These were awesome. But it leads me to Joss Whedon's comment on that clip. Did you guys see the clip of Jurassic World?
Looks so good.
It looks great.
Good.
But Joss Whedon didn't like it. Joss Whedon went out on Twitter and threw his Marvel buddy Chris Pratt under the bus by saying, what are we, in 70s sexist era? What's this? She's a stiff. He's a life force. We get it. And I'm like, well, these are obvious character tropes that work, that, you get it. Yeah.
I didn't pay any attention to it because I have stopped watching Jurassic World clips because I want to see the movie.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't help. Well, I couldn't help because I was posting it. So I had to watch it. I had to watch it and know what I'm talking about. So actually, my writer was talking about it. But yeah. So
I've got nothing for you.
Okay. Yeah, Dalton. It's absolutely going to get a sequel. This is the relaunch of the brand. They've, And
you have Chris Pratt, so if you signed him up, you probably got him for some sequel options, unless the guy gets eaten by a dinosaur.
Yeah,
I think he'll still be in it, and I think I've heard rumors that the sequel is Velociraptors racing in the desert with him on a motorcycle. I am just kidding. That is so wrong.
I was going to say, it's Fast and Furious with dinosaurs.
We're talking about...
Somebody just pitched that.
Shared world.
There we go. No, we're going to end this show with all of our reactions to True Detective.
Oh, yeah, man. Sign me up. Yep. Sign me up. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Yes.
Would have liked a little dialogue, HBO. Would have liked a little taste.
Fiona Apple's not enough for you?
No, actually, she's not. But I like the atmosphere. I thought Colin Farrell looked really interesting.
I thought Vince Vaughn looked really interesting.
I thought, Vince Vaughn looked fantastic.
Yeah. Yep.
It's one of those things. Jeff, you have a little bit of a history with this True Detective stuff because you broke some stories on the casting, didn't you?
Sure, yeah. No, we got some of the plot stuff and the casting out there. I just thought, that last image with the guy in the mask.
It was so.
Oh my god,
that was so.
That's good.
That gave me the chills.
You're like, who is he telling to be quiet? It looked like Colin Farrell under the mask, probably. Just judging by the build, he looked a little thick.
Interesting. I figured it was some random.
Because Colin Farrell is
like last time.
It's like the muscle for Vince Vaughn's character, from what I understand.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I think Vince Vaughn looks very cool. My one issue with it is I love Taylor Kitsch and I loved Friday Night Lights, but I don't know. There's something about it where I feel like he's a little too earnest to play like a hardened cop. Same with Rachel McAdams, too. When she showed up, I was like, girl, your highlights are way too good to be on the police force.
Oh, really? I thought she looked like a strung out mess a little bit, which is like what I thought they were going for.
I would have loved that.
You thought she was too polished.
Yeah, and she's too soft. She's very sweet, and I wanted more of.
Well, she's a cop, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what I got from it. That she just looked like she's been working her, ass off on a case.
I think it's going to be the best thing that she's done in years. And some guy at Forbes wrote something totally.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I did not like that Forbes article that was and it was just like, she's the only woman in the cast of Spotlight, which is the Boston Globe Catholic Church movie, which I think is going to be great. Yeah. But he was trying to make this weird point about her being the only woman and how the guys are going to have the good. It was very weird.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great, but I'm extremely sad that Cary Fukunaga is not coming back.
I am too.
But I think his It is going to be amazing.
I can't wait for that, and I think that all the scoopers are on the hunt for that.
For It?
For Pennywise. Now that Ben Mendelsohn has passed,
Ben Mendelsohn passed on Pennywise.
Well, he had to do Star Wars.
I didn't know that.
Right.
That's what Kroll at Variety reported.
Oh,
nice.
Sorry. I will say that dude's cornering the market on creepy.
He's great. I love him.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And he is the best part of Lost River, by the way.
Yes, he is.
I need to get that.
We need to call it a show.
Well, let's call it a show. Guys, thank you very much, as always, tuning in on Friday for Meet the Movie Press. Sasha Perl-raver, hell of a good time to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Thank you. You know your shit. Damn, girl.
Oh,
She's always known her shit. We've been at parties where we get into these conversations.
I want to go to those parties.
We should talk about. I think I've taken money off of you on Oscar pools too.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
A lot of people have taken money off of me.
Did Phil fall asleep in the booth?
No, he's still there. You can give a wave.
There we go.
There it is. So, Sasha, where can the good people find you?
Every Friday at 8 p.m. on FX and online at Sasha Perl-raver, and maybe back here sometime.
Yeah, we'll have you back on.
I'm Jeff Sneider at The Wrap, and I know I teased a scoop last night, gang. Couldn't get confirmation in time to go with it on this show, but maybe stay tuned to The Wrap later this afternoon. I'll see what I can do.
I'll stay tuned. And, of course, I'm Mark Reilly, and you can find me at Reilly Around and every Friday here on Meet the Movie Press and every day on schmoesknow.com and on the main show, Schmoes Know Movie Show. Be sure and check out all the other Popcorn Talk Network shows. You got Profiles with Manson Malone. You got DC Movie News, Marvel Movie News, Box Office Breakdown, Guilty Movie Pleasures. Who am I forgetting? I don't know. Sorry if I missed you. But guys, rate, subscribe, share with your friends. Keeps the lights on here. Thank you very much. That was a nice little...
Have a good weekend.
See you next week, guys.
Yay.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.